Welcome to this deep dive, where we take the frustration out of information overload and give you the knowledge you need fast. This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. So today we're tackling a topic that really sits at the intersection of hope and reality. It's all about how to eat better on a budget. We are right now in the first week of January, what some are calling Diet Resolution Week. It's that time of year when everyone is talking about healthy eating habits. But, if you're on a fixed income, that goal can just slam right into the wall of grocery store sticker shock. It can feel, well, impossible. Our mission today is pretty clear. We want to show you that you don't need those expensive services or fancy meal boxes. The key to unlocking some pretty significant savings is probably something you're holding right now, your smartphone.
And that financial pressure is exactly why this is so timely. Affordability is, it's the #1 barrier for so many people. The Senior Techie really highlighted a specific pressure point here. The unfortunate reality of things like the measly 2.8% Social Security increase. When food costs are rising so much faster than your income, every single dollar counts.
Yeah.
Every trip to the store feels like a bit of a gamble. So our goal here is to just, cut through all that noise, find the practical low-effort strategies that really make your money stretch. Okay, let's unpack this and start with the tools that put actual savings back in your wallet.
That sounds like a plan. Let's look at this in two parts. First, apps that save you money before and during the trip. Then we can get into the tools that save you time and, just as importantly, prevent waste in the kitchen. So first up is an app called Flip. The Senior Techie points to this one as the modern replacement for a really familiar habit.
Right. Think of Flip as your digital weekly circular. If you remember sitting at the table on a Sunday with the newspaper spread out, clipping coupons.
And getting newsprint all over your hands.
Exactly. This is the free, cleaner, and frankly, much smarter version of that whole experience. The way it works is it pulls the weekly ads from, well, dozens of major stores in your area. We're talking Walmart, Target, Publix, Safeway, you name it. This completely changes your strategy from just, buying what you need at whatever price they're asking.
Being proactive to
Yeah.
only buying things when you know they're at their lowest price.
That's it. It puts you in control.
Okay, but I have to ask, for someone who's been going to the same neighborhood grocery store for decades, is it really worth looking at circulars for 10 other stores they'll never go to? Doesn't that just create more noise?
That's a really valid point, and it gets to the heart of avoiding app fatigue. You don't have to look at all of them. The real value is in comparing the 2 or 3 stores that matter most to you, instantly, in one place. No more driving around or collecting paper flyers. And the organization inside the app is, well, it's the hidden gem. When you clip a deal, it goes right onto your digital shopping list then. And this is clever. The list organizes itself by store section.
Oh, so when you're in the dairy aisle, all your dairy deals are right at the top.
Precisely. No more forgetting the sale item. And, just as important, no more aimless wandering that leads to those impulse buys.
That organization is a huge benefit. But here's where it gets really interesting. What the Senior Techie called the watch list feature.
Absolutely. This is the feature that makes the savings routine. You can tell the app, hey, I always buy this brand of coffee or laundry detergent or whatever it is. Flip will then just send you an alert the moment that item goes on sale at any of your local stores. You could go a whole year without paying full price for your favorite items because you're letting the app do the hunting for you. It turns it into a little game you always win.
That's fantastic for saving money before you even check out. But let's pivot to the next tool. Flip is proactive, but this next app, Ibotta, actually rewards you after you've paid. And the key here is that Ibotta pays out real money, not points or credits, but actual cash. The average saving is what really makes this concrete. The Senior Techie found that the average person earns about $150 a year with this.
And when you're on a tight budget, $150 back in your pocket is...
It's almost an entire week's worth of groceries. That's a huge return.
It's a very significant return. And the process is so straightforward, which is really important. There are basically 3 steps. First, before you shop, you just browse the offers and add them to your list. Second, you buy the items like you normally would. And third, when you get home, you scan your receipt. Now, some people worry this part will be tedious, but it usually takes less than 5 minutes. The app is surprisingly fast at reading the receipt.
I find this model so interesting. But doesn't it run the risk of encouraging you to buy things just to get the cash back? That's not saving money, that's just spending more.
That is the crucial point. This is the one rule you have to follow for Ibotta to work as a savings tool. You only pick offers for things you are already going to buy, things that are already on your list from Flip. The second you start chasing a deal on, say, a bag of cookies you don't need just to get $1 back, you've undermined your whole budget. It's about getting rewarded for your essential, planned purchases.
Got it. So once you've saved up, what, $20?
Yeah, once you hit that $20 threshold, you can transfer the cash right to your bank account or get a gift card. It's a simple system for capturing money you'd otherwise just leave on the table.
So combining those two Flip for finding the best price, Ibotta for getting cash back, that really solves a big piece of the puzzle. But saving money at the store only works if you're buying the right things. Which brings us to the next big struggle. What to cook that's both healthy and affordable. So let's move into that second piece, meal planning without the headache.
This is where a lot of services fall down because they charge a monthly fee, which, immediately defeats the purpose if you're trying to save money. That's why Mealime is so interesting. The free version offers incredible value.
What kind of value are we talking about?
It gives you personalized meal plans with recipes that are all designed to take 30 minutes or less to make. For anyone who doesn't want to be standing over a stove for hours, that's a massive feature.
And the personalization is key, right? You can tell it you're only cooking for 1 or 2 people, or that you need to avoid gluten or high sodium.
Exactly. It adapts instantly. Yeah. But here's the core economic benefit. Mealime is specifically designed to reduce food waste. The recipes are built to use up ingredients across multiple meals. So if you buy a big head of broccoli for Tuesday's dinner, the app makes sure the rest of that broccoli shows up in Thursday's side dish.
And that's so important. We all know that sinking feeling of having to throw away spoiled produce.
Right. If you're on a tight budget, throwing away food really feels like throwing away money. This system minimizes that.
That's a genius approach. Now, if you want to dial in even further on just the cost, the senior techie also pointed to a resource called Budget Bites.
Yeah, this one's a little different. It's not a formal app, it's a website. But it works perfectly on a phone's browser, so it's totally accessible.
And its unique feature is the pricing, right?
Total price transparency. It shows you the calculated cost per serving for every single recipe. This is gold. All the guesswork is gone. You know exactly what a meal will cost before you decide to make it.
Can you give an example?
The senior techie found some great ones. Things like sesame chicken for about $1.70 a serving, or something simple like garlic noodles for 59 cents a serving. That kind of clarity is really empowering.
And the recipes themselves are simple. No fancy techniques, no ingredients you have to search 3 stores for.
Exactly. And to tie it back to that waste reduction point, the site has a great search function. If you have, say, half a head of cabbage in the fridge that needs to be used, you can search by ingredient.
And it'll show you affordable recipes to use it up.
Yep. It helps you get your fridge inventory down to 0 before anything spoils.
Okay, so we've covered saving at the store with Flip and Ibotta, and saving in the kitchen with Mealime and Budget Bites. Let's address the big question that I'm sure is on some listeners' minds. A lot of people, especially if getting to the store is difficult, might be thinking, why bother with all this? Why not just use a grocery delivery service like Instacart? So what's the big picture here?
That's a critical question. Convenience is incredibly valuable, no doubt. But we have to be clear about the financial reality of those services. They almost always have markups on the items themselves, sometimes 5, 10, even 15% higher than in the store. And that's before the fees and the tip.
And you miss out on things like senior discount days at the store itself.
You do. So the smart strategy, the senior techie says, is to combine the two systems. If you need delivery, don't just order blindly. Use Flip first. Know what's on sale. Then order those sale items through Instacart. That way you're using the sales to help offset the delivery fees and markups.
Ah, so it's a compromise. You get the convenience, but you're still being fiscally smart about it.
Okay, let's talk about actually doing this. We've thrown out 4 tools. Downloading them all at once is a recipe for overload.
Absolutely. The goal is to build a habit, not just try something for a week. So you have to stagger it.
So what's step 1? Step 1 for this week. Just start with Flip. That's it. Focus on browsing the sales for your regular stores and building your shopping list in the app. Get comfortable with that first. The reward is immediate.
And once that feels like a win, you move on. So step 2 for next week would be to add Ibotta, but you have to remember that crucial rule.
Yes. Only pick offers for things you are already going to buy. Do not chase deals. It's a bonus for your normal shopping, not a reason to buy more.
And once those 2 are habits,
then you move to step 3. Integrate Mealime or Budget Bites, whichever one fits your need. Do you need help with recipes and waste? Mealime? Do you just want to know the cost? Budget Bites.
The goal isn't just to survive Diet Resolution Week. It's about building a system for the whole year. These apps remove the guesswork.
They do. The routine becomes simple. Plan meals on Sunday, check Flip on Monday, use Ibotta after you shop, and cook with your chosen recipe tool. If you do that for just 1 month, the savings become a predictable part of your budget.
So, to bring this all together, the core benefit here is that these tools restore a sense of control over your food budget. They do all the heavy lifting of the old newspaper circulars and handwritten lists, but, faster and better. The whole point is to give you the resources to eat a little healthier, to improve your quality of life without spending more than your fixed income allows.
And that leads to a final thought for you to consider. When you reliably save, say, $150 or more a year on groceries money, you can actually count on what other possibilities open up. Could that money improve your technology, or pay for a streaming service you've wanted, or just take the pressure off an unexpected bill? When you master saving on the basics, you create breathing room everywhere else.
That's a great question to take with you. This deep dive was brought to you by The Senior Techie. If you'd like to keep up with our newsletters and podcasts, you can subscribe for free by going to theseniortechie.com.